Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with VC Andrews Critiquer again. So, yeah, that time of year again. So, this one's called Nicolas Cage as Freddy Krueger, kind of. It's a review of Dream Scenario. Honestly, never heard of this one. So, if you guys have, let me know. But, let's check it out, huh? Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, it's the VC Andrews Critiquer.
Hey man.
Welcome to my brand new apartment, or flat if you're in the UK. Yeah, things are going pretty good with me. Got a great new apartment, a great new job.
Though I heard he recently had a shooting there, so I'll be safe.
Richard Matheson's I Am Legend, aka the first true zombie apocalypse work. But first I wanted to do a mini review of, honestly, one of the most interesting movies I've ever seen, where Nicolas Cage himself plays Freddy Krueger. Well, again, kind of. I'm of course talking about a crazy movie called Dream Scenario.
Here, Cage plays a research professor named Paul Matthews, who originally was a pretty average man, partly because his friend from college took credit for a variety of his ideas that he shared with her at the time and profited off of it. But fame finds him in a pretty unorthodox way when he starts appearing in the dreams of people all over the world. Not just his friends and acquaintances, but soon hundreds of people start commenting on how he was there in their dreams. And I do literally mean just there. Yeah, all these dreams are nightmares where people are in danger and Paul literally just stands there in the background doing nothing. Nonetheless, Paul quickly becomes a celebrity and gains considerable more respect from his students, friends, and co-workers, even meeting a marketing team who wants to make a biopic about his life, get him an interview with Obama, and also appear in some Sprite ads in the hope of subliminally manipulating people's dreams to motivate them to buy the product. But they are willing to help him get his new book published in return for him helping them with their product placement. Plus, his wife starts getting more recognition with her job from the whole situation, even if she never has any dreams about him. But believe it or not, this fame doesn't seem to bring Paul the happiness he was hoping for. I'll go more into that a bit later. So the humans...
Honestly, I'd be questioning, okay, how the heck am I appearing in people's dreams, and yet that's the thing they remember, me. I would have been like, what the heck is going on here? I don't know, it does feel a little weird. Don't you agree? Let me know. Honestly, I don't even know how I would react if I learned, like, you know, people are, I'm appearing in people's dreams. How the heck is that possible? It's definitely a question. Anyway.
Conscious eventually says,
he doesn't want to be famous, and I'll make him infamous.
And pretty soon, Paul is more active in people's nightmares, as the one who starts attacking them in said dreams in a Freddy Krueger-like fashion. So people start seeing that said horror movie villain. His students are too terrified to show up to class, and exposure therapy doesn't work on them, so he gets put on a paid sabbatical so the dean can't figure out what to do about the situation. But that's just the start. His friends cut him out of their social events, people are complete dicks to him, he gets banned from public places including his daughter's school play of Alice in Wonderland, his marketing team feels he's only profitable appearing with talk show hosts who thrive on bad publicity like Rogan or Tucker Carlson, his wife and daughters begin to receive bad publicity also due to guilt by association, and his wife eventually divorces him. Though not because of the bad publicity or because she was having nightmares as well. I'll tell you why a bit later. So if this seems like kind of a depressing film, you're actually wrong. It's a really depressing film, but it is still an incredible one, and I think a big part of that is Nicolas Cage being in the main role. Yeah, you think the role of a guy who appears in the nightmares of everyone around him and is ostracized because of it would be fairly interchangeable, but this role was honestly just perfect for the over-the-top Cage, not just because it makes him all the more terrifying in people's dreams, and more understandable why they're all scared shitless of him, but Cage is also able to implement said hamminess in the scenes where he's pissed about society singling him out, which all in all, really makes the depressing story more fun to watch.
But it sounds like they've actually been traumatized.
Trauma is a trend these days. It is a joke. Everything is trauma. Arguing with a friend is trauma. Getting bad grades is trauma. They need to grow up.
Stop being little fucking brats! Who the fuck did this?
Don't get me wrong, these scenes are still sad and we still feel for Cage, but had a more subtle actor play the character like, say, Robert Downey Jr., these scenes would have been 100% downer, but with the master of hamminess Nicolas Cage in the role, these scenes are noticeably more fun to watch than they should have been. But more importantly, this film provides such a great commentary on the issues with going viral even before it leads to Paul becoming a pariah. Paul thinks that his new fame and new marketing team means he's finally going to have the connections and resources to publish the book he's always wanted to. only to find that the corporate world just wants to exploit his current situation for subliminal advertising rather than out of actual respect for him. Though again, to be fair, they do also offer to help him get his new book published if he plays along with their dream marketing campaign. We also see how newfound fame can bring you attention from the wrong kind of audience, such as a deranged lunatic who breaks into their house. And on the flip side, there's also a commentary on how famous people aren't always what they seem. Yeah, one of the marketing team members, Molly, reveals she's one of the few people who's had a dream of Paul being active in a good way, by which I mean the absolute perfect sex partner, though I won't show these scenes in detail to avoid the risk of demonetization.
Yeah,
this
probably the
Paul's
best.
ego so much, he agrees to cheat on his wife with her, and needless to say, she's pretty disappointed with who Paul actually is.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
There we go.
I'm sorry. It's just nerves.
It's okay. Did you just come?
And of course, there's the great satire on the issues with cognitive biasing that comes from external factors outside of the person's control. Yeah, people aren't just...
Yeah, even I would agree. Like, at that point, I would have been like, jeez, I feel bad for this guy. Like, you didn't ask for it, and it's just happening, you know? Like, sheesh, I can't even imagine being myself in that situation. Just, I just gotta wonder. I mean, why are they blaming him for the nightmares? Like, I mean, it's... Correlation doesn't mean causation. It's definitely that kind of bad, like, idea, but... Oh boy. Anyway.
Consciously scared of Paul due to the dreams, people start subconsciously being outright dicks to him as a result.
You have to leave.
Really?
Yeah, really. Why do you think no one else is here?
Fuck you, Matthew. Go home. Why don't you just quit, Paul? Bye.
Would you do us a favor and just wrap that up? Nobody wants you here, man.
And there's also society trying to legally discriminate against Paul when they have no legal justification to do so. I know I had said Paul was banned from certain places, but I was actually just kind of exaggerating. Yeah, the dean knows that just having nightmares about being attacked by Paul does not legally constitute us him actually doing so, so he instead can only put Paul on an indefinite paid leave as an excuse to get him out of the school so he won't scare away the students in business. Or when Paul's at a diner, the waitress is basically like, "Hey there, you haven't technically done anything wrong, but people still think you're Freddy Krueger, so you think maybe you could wrap it up and then get the hell out of here?" But she knows that Paul hasn't broken any of their rules, so she has no justification to kick him out, and knows that she has to accept that when he refuses. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop the other restaurant guests from taking matters into their own hands. Even his daughter's school doesn't outright ban Paul from the play. They just politely ask him to sit this one out, considering the other parents and students probably won't feel safe with him being there. They even promised to record the show for him so he'd get to see it, though I personally find that line a bit outdated. In today's time, I think they would have offered to set up a live stream for Paul to watch it from home. Well, that's beside the point.
That's not even an option
Point
anymore.
is, it's a great way to show how society can still cruelly find ways to single you out even when they have no legal rights to do so. My only gripe is that I don't feel the film went all out with this. Yeah, I feel there were just so many other opportunities this film had to be creative with how society turned on Paul because of cognitive biasing from their nightmares from him. Like, maybe the dean could have smokescreened the situation and fired Paul for not coming up with as many lesson plans as some other professor they had. Or maybe someone could have cried wolf and said Paul did attack them so that he would be arrested. Hell, what if Congress actually created a law that did give businesses the right to discriminate against someone who's been appearing in the nightmares of everyone? Yeah, it sounds kind of silly, but please remember that almost the entire world is having nightmares about Paul, and if Congress was one of them, it's not entirely implausible that they would take these drastic steps. But I think my favorite commentary this movie offers is regarding apology videos and the many nuances they have. Paul's wife Janet suggests he does want to try and mend things in the public's eye, but he doesn't want to do this, pointing out that he hasn't actually done anything wrong, and the only one who's actually suffering from this whole situation in the real world is himself, both socially and physically. And those are really good points. But his wife Janet points out that he's not the only one suffering from this. She's been kicked off of an important project at work that she had her heart set on, and her daughters are getting a ton of shit from their peers at school about their dad being Freddy Krueger. She also asks if maintaining his pride and proving a point is worth it if it means he has to live as a pariah forever. Those are great points as well. But thankfully, when Paul himself has the nightmare of being attacked by, well, himself, he finally understands the trauma everyone around him has been going through and finally decides to humble himself with a traditional celebrity apology video. And by traditional, I mean completely insincere and self-serving, making himself the total victim in this situation. But it's honestly the most hilarious part of the film.
My mere presence upsets people, and not because I've actually done anything, but because people imagine I've done things. Am I not the biggest victim in this whole phenomenon? Just look at how it's affecting my life. I've done things.
I'm actually gonna have to kill myself.
Is it really fair that
Yeesh.
What is he doing?
By the way, do you notice how Paul looks a bit like John
Yeesh. Honestly, at that point, I think I would have been like, okay, look, I understand how you guys feel. Just, I know I didn't do anything, but I'm sorry. I really am. Like, I don't know if I do something like that, but even I would have just talked like, okay, how do I even apologize for this? Like, this is just a surreal scenario. Like, at that point, I don't even know what I would do. Like, sheesh. This is just a fucked up situation. Like, I mean, at that point, I would just offer, like, okay, anyone who has a nightmare, just punch me in the face, at least. I don't know. At least have a public event or something. Sheesh. Just saying. Good work. I mean, they slapped the real thing. They might be able to gain the courage to confront me in the dreams, I guess. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of that could actually help. What would you guys do? I don't know. I mean, just seriously. What?
Lasseter and Chris Savino, two other perpetrators of completely bullshit apology videos. That may have been why they made Cage look this way in the film, as kind of an allegory for this situation. That's just a theory though, don't quote me on it.
True.
The only thing about this film I think is really botched up is the ending. So basically, Paul decides not to take no for an answer regarding being banned from his daughter's play and to just force his way in. And this results in him accidentally breaking the fingers of her teacher when she tries to keep him out. And now that there finally is valid evidence to condemn Paul, he winds up in prison for life with... Oh wait, no, that's the ending that would have made sense in this situation. But instead, the nightmares stop altogether after the incident, Paul's reputation more or less recovers, and even finally gets his book published. Though not quite in the way he hoped.
They changed the title too?
I am your nightmare? That is not the title?
Oh. It was supposed to be dream scenario.
Corporate world's a bitch,
Shane and Paul.
And while he and Jana remain divorced, he does still get to see his kids, and the two of them seem amicable again now. Oh, and this whole experience inspired scientists to figure out how Paul was appearing in people's dreams, and invent a product to allow others to do so, mostly for subliminal advertising purposes. And I'm sorry, but
they were able to figure that
seriously? This whole film had such a great satire on the issues with cancel culture, and then ends by saying that if you do something bad for real, then everything will reasonably go back to normal? I mean, sure, I like that it's a happy ending, or more so bittersweet, but that's not social commentary, that's just completely effed up logic. But it is topped off with a very effectively bittersweet note, where Paul's able to use the device to enter Janet's dream, save her from death in said dream, and have a sweet romantic moment with her.
I wish this was real.
But it's sadly not, and Paul has to return to the real world and his very mixed reputation that awaits him there. But despite the ending, this is again one of the most interesting films I've ever seen, with so many great social commentaries on cancel culture, the price of fame, cognitive biasing, subtle discrimination, and more. And even if it can get pretty sad at times, having the master of campy hamminess Nicolas Cage in the lead role does still keep it a pretty enjoyable movie. Regardless of the mostly botched up ending, the rest of the film may honestly be my favorite Nicolas Cage movie ever, and definitely makes for a better reimagining of Nightmare on Elm Street than the one from 2010.
You're wrong there. Ooh. Though, honestly, you still gotta feel bad for the guy. Like, he didn't ask to be a dream demon, or at least a nightmare. And then it happened. Like, again, I don't even think I know what I would do if I was in that situation. If you guys know, let me know. So, thanks for watching this one, guys. Honestly, I got nothing else. Adios.